of the most recognized bands in the world and one of the most iconic bands in the world. But the Beatles has had around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 albums. Are all Beatles songs amazing? Or does the Beatles, much like Queen, have some stinkers? Well, unlike Queen, I don't really know much about the Beatles. Those Beatles also had several EPs as well. We'll also go over them as well, but they probably have the same songs on the albums, I think, as well. So the first album is Please Get Out Here. And yeah, we'll be using the album of the year score. This album has a respectable 72 user score. So any album under a score of 70 will count. The Beatles' first album's worst song is called Boys. That is the worst song on the album with a 65. And the first album is called Please Please Me. Yeah. Boys has a 65. And this is based off user ratings. This is not based off some critic score, like Fantano. Saints is the second worst song, and that's on the first album. The third song is P.S. Oh wait, that's 68. A Taste of Honey. Which the song has a score of 66. Kind of like with Queen's first album. They were kind of like with Queen's very first album. Some of the songs were meh. They weren't really that great. And we have P.S. I Love You with at a 68. And if you like any of these songs, that's good for you. Okay. But don't diss people who don't like any songs. I know there's something called an unpopular opinion, but don't make fun of people for not liking a song. These songs are of course, not the most loved songs in the world, as it was the first album, and they were just trying to find a place. Kind of like with Queen's very first album. Queen's very first album had some meh songs, but yeah, that's the 5 worst songs at the moment. The next album is called With the Beatles. It has an average user score of 68. Again, these are all of the worst songs. Little Child is the lowest rated song by them all. The song has a 49. What is the album called? With the Beatles. That's what the album is called. Apparently, according to someone on Album of the Year, the song Little Child is a creepy song. 2 is I Wanna Be Your Man. And yeah, we're going through the discography. Of course, we're not listening to the songs. The video will be copyright claimed. But we're going through the discography and going through all of the lowest rated songs. That's what we're doing. Not a second there. Not a second time. Which has a 63. The next song on the list is Money. That's What I Want. The song had a 65. Devil in a Heart and Hold Me Tight are the lowest rated songs. So Hold Me Tight and Devil in Her Heart. And the last song is Roll Over Beethoven. Of course, this list is going to get less and less interesting as time goes on because once more albums come out, yeah. So, the Beatles' lowest rated song is still higher rated than Taylor Swift's lowest song. Of course, the Beatles has a lot more albums to go through. They have like 13. So that Little Child is the worst song with a 49 on the second album. Of course, the Beatles is a very beloved band, but it's not too surprising they have some stinkers. The next album is called A Hard Day's Night. Average user score is 36. I don't expect a single song from this album to make this list, and I was right, considering that album is very well received. Then we have Beatles for Sale, the fourth album I have ever made, and the lowest rated songs on the album. The lowest rated song is Honey Don't, which has a 56. And the album is called Beatles for Sale. Excuse me. But Beatles for Sale has the second lowest rated song as of now. The next is Everyone's Trying to Be My Baby. With a user score of 61. Yeah, with a band like Metallica has several very lowly rated albums. Next is Kansas City / Hey, 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 Hey. British music, I know. And that's also on Beatles for Sale album. And the next song is Mr. Moonlight, which has a 65 average user score. Also on the same album. Like, it's very easy to pick up, songs of a band that is not very well liked. For example, Maroon 5, Nickelback. But it would still be interesting if we do one for Nickelback. Yeah. So Little Child is still the lowest rated song with a 49. Yeah. Help, Rubber Soul, Revolver. I don't think any of these albums afterwards, with one album maybe taking the cake for it, as this is where all the Beatles' critically acclaimed and beloved albums take place. Act Naturally and Middle Miss Busy are the lowest rated albums on Help, and that's around the 60s as well. This is when the Beatles became really popular. But for example, Rubber Soul 85, no songs on all these albums, and Abbey Road and Let It Be probably don't have any low rated songs either. Then we have one album released in 1969. Yellow Submarine. Yes, this was the third to last album. And yeah. The lowest rated song, which is now tied with Little Child, is Pepperland Raid Raced. The album has a 49, and this is Yellow Submarine. So Yellow Submarine is kind of like the kind of like that one Queen album that was very lowly rated as well. We also have Sea of Holes, and Sea of Monsters. Yeah, the one really badly rated Queen album is called Hot Space, not Hot Fuzz. That's the Killers album. Both. Over 50. So yeah, Queen's lowest rated song. Queen has 5 songs below 50. Beatles only has 2. But we will check out the EP to see if there's any badly rated songs on there. We also have Hearts of the Meanies. Which has an average score of 54 on Yellow Submarine. So Yellow Submarine's kind of like Hot Space. It's going to fill up a lot of the list, you know? And we also have Sea of Time. Yeah, a lot of these Sea of songs are apparently not very good. And we'll see if there's any bad songs in any of the critically acclaimed albums. So the most critically acclaimed album, the last album is called Let It Be, lower score 62. Abbey Road, 91 average user score. Lowest rated song is in the 80s. The Beatles LP, 88 average user score. No song goes below the lowest rated song. Oh, there was actually one on here. Wild Honey Pie. Never heard of that song before, but this is apparently, and this is on the Beatles LP. That is surprising. Good thing I looked. Wild Honey Pie. It seems even on the highest rated albums, there was some stinkers. Magical Mystery Tour. No songs on that album. St. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. I think that's what the album's called. No albums below 80. No songs. Revolver, average score of 90. No score under 90. And Rubber Soul. No score below 80. But they do have several EPs. And they also have Now and Then, which isn't a lowly rated album song. So Now and Then is 84. It was a song they didn't record, but they re-released it. Now we have the EPs. No repeats are allowed. So yeah, the EPs, I don't think the EPs have any scores. Yeah, they don't. The EPs don't have any scores. This is why we only do albums. Only EPs that really usually have scores are K-pop ones. Yeah. The EPs don't really have scores. So these are the lowest rated Beatles songs. Yellow Submarine is apparently the worst album the Beatles has ever made. I don't think anyone can probably dispute that, because looking at the scores for the songs, they dominate that entire album, kind of like a Hot Space, dominates the Queen list. Hot Space has 6 of like the 10 worst Queen songs, and Yellow Submarine with the Beatles, it is exactly 6 songs. Like even like Taylor Swift, her lowest rated album, in terms of bad songs, 6. 4 Reputation songs. Hot Space has 6, and Yellow Submarine has 6. Now you gotta see how much lopsided band like Metallica will be with that really bad album that everybody hates. And that's about this video here. Goodbye.